Hey you guys, it's me SpongeBob #1 fan 2003 here, and as you can see, we have this super cute SpongeBob chapter book that's called For the Love of Bubbles. And I actually just got this book for my birthday yesterday, and I think it is really super duper cute. I really love this book. So, believe it or not, WhoBob WhatPants was sort of like based on this book. Like, you know, this book right here was invented first, and then they decided to make it into an actual episode like 2 years later. And yeah, but in the actual episode, you all know that everyone calls SpongeBob Idiot Boy, and he falls on a cliff, and yeah, he gets amnesia. And in this book right here, no one calls SpongeBob Idiot Boy. Instead, he just blows bubbles and he trips over some kelp, and then he blacks out. And yeah, so that's basically the sort of, I guess, plot of this book here. So, and yeah, on the front cover there's cute little SpongeBob, and there's a bunch of bubbles here in the background, and this bubble right here is shaped like a Krabby Patty, named there's title For the Love of Bubbles. And this book was made by Stephen Banks and illustrated by the Artifact Group. Sorry. Yeah, this book right here got torn right here on the covers, so... But yeah, at least on the first page of the book, it does say Stephen Banks in there. So, yeah. And here is the spine. Really quick, it's like this nice blue spine. And here's the back of the book. So yeah, there's SpongeBob's mouth and hand and bubble wand, and he's blowing some bubbles. And there's his bubble, like here's the soap, and there's the wand right there. And here's the plot of the book right here. And yeah, it's like a much better plot than whatever I said. But yeah, let's get started looking at the pages that are in this book. So yeah, there's For the Love of Bubbles right there, written in pink. It's really pretty. And this book was made in 2006. It says so right here. Alright, so SpongeBob wakes up really super early in the morning, and he really wants to blow some bubbles, and plus this is chapter 1. And so he goes outside and blows his bubble, and the bubble, like, he wants to show the bubble to Patrick, but the bubble actually like sort of moves away, like it's like it like wind is like blowing the bubble away. There we go. Okay. And yeah, SpongeBob tries to like chase it, and then suddenly SpongeBob trips over some kelp, and yeah, he sort of blacks out after he falls down. Like he sees a lot of stars, and he just falls over, and then he blacks out. And then here is chapter 2. So everyone is like wondering, where is SpongeBob at? And Mr. Krabs really wants SpongeBob to make Krabby Patties, but since SpongeBob is not there, he can't make Krabby Patties. So yeah, Squidward actually puts posters all over the town, and they read, If you have seen this sponge, send him to the Krusty Krab immediately and tell him to start making Krabby Patties. So, and then chapter 3, SpongeBob finally wakes up, and he finds himself lying flat on the back. So, yeah, and he sees that he's all tangled up in some kelp, and he feels his head, and he has a big sore bump on his head. And he sees his Krusty Krab hat, and he thinks that it looks really funny, and he thinks it's someone else's. So, yeah, and he sees himself there, and like he sees his reflection in the water, and he thinks that he's a very handsome fellow, and he's like wondering, why is he wearing clothes? So yeah, you can obviously tell SpongeBob got amnesia from bumping his head. So yeah, he actually goes to New Kelp City, and yeah, he like looks all over the town, and like he looks all around the town and stuff, and he tries to get his memories back or whatever. He like tries to know what his identity is. And yeah, obviously SpongeBob doesn't have a driver's license or anything, and he sees a small little note from Patrick Star, but he doesn't know who Patrick Star is. And then here's chapter 4. So Sandy and Patrick. Sandy and Patrick try looking for SpongeBob, but obviously he's nowhere to be seen. Oh, chapter 5. Dang, that was a short chapter. But so SpongeBob really wants to know who he is, and he's so like kind of frustrated that he can't know who he is, and he starts to cry. And an old man asks him what's wrong, and SpongeBob says that he can't remember who he is, so the old man actually decides to like name SpongeBob Sponge Joe Brown Pants. And yeah, and SpongeBob likes the name. So and Patrick and Sandy are like looking in SpongeBob's favorite places in Bikini Bottom. And here's chapter 7. So they stop by Mrs. Puff's boating school to see if he's there, but obviously SpongeBob is not there. And obviously SpongeBob still couldn't remember anything, and yeah, that's chapter 7. And so he goes to a restaurant, like he goes to a bank to try to get some money so he could get some food. And he works at a bank, and he actually makes like a Krabby Patty made of dollars or something. And then SpongeBob gets a job as a tailor, and there's the uniform, I guess. And then here is chapter 8. And I guess I guess Sandy and Patrick are now at New Kelp City. And and SpongeBob actually decides to blow some bubbles. And he sees a little kid, and the little kid gets really super scared of bubbles and stuff. And here's chapter 10. And Sandy and Patrick stop by Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's place, aka Shady Shoals. And they show Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy the poster of SpongeBob that they found. And and then Sandy and Patrick keep on looking for him, and they can see his bubble wand, so they're on the trail to finding SpongeBob. And then here's chapter 11. So Sponge Joe is now sort of almost president or mayor, and he'll bring back bubbles. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So Sponge Joe becomes mayor of New Kelp City, and he's very, very super happy. And so Sponge Joe's law is to bring back bubbles, and everyone is really happy about that. And here's chapter 12. Man, these are short chapters. Okay. So Sandy and Patrick are still on the hunt for SpongeBob. And Patrick gets stung by lots of jellyfish. And then Sandy sees another clue, which is a bottle of bubbles dripping all over the sand. And then here's chapter 13. And Mr. Krabs tries to make Krabby Patties, but he can't. And and then here's chapter 14. So Sandy and Patrick find SpongeBob's Krusty Krab hat, and they go to New Kelp City, and they see the poster about brown pants from Mayor. And so they find out that SpongeBob is mayor of New Kelp City. And here's chapter 15. So there's SpongeBob or Sponge Joe as the mayor of New Kelp City. And then SpongeBob sees Sandy and Patrick, and he doesn't know who they are, obviously. So and then Sandy notices SpongeBob's bump, and she asks him, did he bump his head? And SpongeBob said yeah. So Sandy finds out that SpongeBob got amnesia because he bumped his head really hard. So they take him back to Bikini Bottom. And yeah, here's chapter 16. And yeah, so after they get SpongeBob home, they decide to give him a little tour of everything. And yeah, you can see the bump right there on his head. And yeah, they actually go to Squidward's house, and Squidward is in the bathtub, and he like yells at them to get out. And here's chapter 17. And they take SpongeBob to the Krusty Krab to make some Krabby Patties. And obviously SpongeBob doesn't remember anything about it, but when he tries a Krabby Patty, he says that was the most amazing thing he ever put in his mouth. So yeah. And now SpongeBob remembers everything, like his memory just now came back. And now he remembers everything. So he remembers his job at the Krusty Krab, he lives in a pineapple under the sea, and he has he has a pet snail named Gary, and he says that his name is SpongeBob Brown Pants, but it's really SpongeBob SquarePants. And then SpongeBob sees the bubble that he blew in the morning, or that morning. And everyone is really happy that SpongeBob is back. Even Squidward's very happy to have him back. And yeah, that's actually pretty much all for this cute SpongeBob chapter book, For the Love of Bubbles. I really super duper love this book. Yeah, my favorite part was probably when SpongeBob got his memory back. I have to admit, that was probably the best part of it. And yeah, I really like how this was sort of, I guess, the inspiration for the actual whatever happened to SpongeBob episode. Yeah, I really love this book, and yeah, I'm definitely going to have to read it later today. So yep, I hope you guys like For the Love of Bubbles, and let me know what your favorite part about this book was in the comments down below, if they're even open. So yep, so goodbye everybody, have a great day, and peace out.